John, just what are your emotions about going into Sunday and senior day in Thompson-Boling Arena?
I think that my emotions are kind of sad that it could potentially be my last home game at Tennessee. And really, I just kind of – it's definitely sad that it could be my last game, but also it's a good time because it makes me look back at all the memories I've had here, all the relationships I've made, and just my teammates, my coaches, the memories, the friendships, hanging out. It just makes me look back and think of all the times that I've done that and all the memories that I've made.
Grant Ramey. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Have you made a decision yet, John, on what you'll do next year? I mean, are you entertaining the possibility of returning?
Have I made a decision yet? Not yet. Am I thinking about returning? Of course. It's hard to pass up this institution, this basketball program, these coaches, my teammates, the university. And so absolutely I'm thinking about returning. Have I made a decision yet? No. Am I open for suggestions? Yes. But right now I'm just focused on getting better as our team and our current team right now. I'm not focused on me individually. It's right now about us as a team and playing our best to beat Florida on Sunday.
Grant and Gustavo.
John, can you think back to when Tennessee and Rick started recruiting you? What's your memory of that time? What was that like growing up a Tennessee kid and getting that kind of attention?
It was a really big deal when Coach Barnes and Coach Lanier, when Rob Lanier called me, and Coach Oliver recruited me as well. When they called me and they told me that they were with the University of Tennessee, it was honestly like a dream come true. And it still feels as if I'm living a dream that a kid from Kingsport gets to come and play for his state university, which has always been his dream. And so I'm very blessed to be in this position, but I can remember it like it was yesterday. I believe I was in Atlanta or Marietta, Alpharetta, somewhere around the Atlanta area playing in or maybe Greensboro when I got that call and when offered. And so I'll never forget it. And my AU coach knew it was coming and we talked about it. And it was really hard not to commit on the spot because of what I've talked about, being from Tennessee, my love for Tennessee. But I really wanted to go through the recruiting process and weigh out my options. That's what I did. And I obviously I picked the best school, but I remember that recruiting process like it was yesterday for a long time.
John, do you see this kind of indecision, or you wanted to think about coming back because you feel like you still have like basketball to give at Tennessee because maybe you're not playing your best basketball this season?
Can you repeat that, please?
My question is, are you thinking about coming back for another season because you feel like you still have some basketball to give, probably because you feel like you're not playing your best basketball this season?
Right. Okay. That could definitely be one of the reasons, but and it would be great to, and we still have a lot of basketball this season to play, and the most important basketball is still left that we can have a great season. But I would come back for many different reasons, and would that be one of them? Yes. Would that be the main reason? I'm not sure, but I'm still weighing out my options and seeing what the best is for me and talking to my family about it, praying a lot about it, and just seeing what the best option is.
Nicholas Hill and Wes Rucker.
John, obviously, as you just mentioned, you're heading into the most important part of your season, something that you are really working on right now in practice, help yourself and the team do well as you head into both the conference and the NCAA tournaments.
I think right now we're just playing as a team together right now, and I think that we have come together more than ever right now, as we should, and because now we know how important each game is from now on. And so we're just trying to get everybody to play their best because as we've seen, and you all have seen a couple games this season, that when everybody's playing their best and playing their role, then we're a very, very good team. And I feel like we could beat anybody in the country. So we just got to get everybody, including myself, to play their role and play the best they can.
Sounds a bit like a broken record at this point, but as you go and y'all are kind of chopping up the film there and you're watching stuff and you're watching tape, what are you seeing from yourself that's not going right? Are games just kind of flowing away from you? Are you not attacking them? Or are you what are you kind of seeing when you chop those things up?
I see a lot of things. I see double teams. I see me not being aggressive. I see me not making the right play. But that's why we watch it. And I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've tried to improve on all season. And if I could go back and play like I did last year, you better believe that I would, and I would play even better. And I've been trying my best to play like that. And I think that I've still got that in me. And so, you just got to keep working every day to try to get better and get your swagger back.
Ben McKee and Mike Wilson.
John, I know there's plenty of basketball left to be played, so sorry about the premature question, but how do you want Tennessee fans to remember you as a player when your time here is done, if this is your last year?
I would want Tennessee fans to remember me, first of all, not as only as a basketball player, but off the court as well. That's somebody that always had a positive impact on people, and somebody that always liked to have fun, was always trying to lift people up and look at the positive side of things, look at the bright side of things, and talk to people, and really somebody that gave my all for Tennessee. And I would say on the court, I would like to be somebody that was known as a great teammate, really the ultimate teammate that was there for my teammates and one another when times were good, when times were bad. And I want to be known for somebody that always played hard all the time, that was a hustle, energy player. And really, I would just like to leave a great lasting impact on Tennessee, and hopefully I can be known for somebody that came in and left it better than they found it, and somebody that gave their all for Tennessee. I just hope I can to leave those things.
John, what are the other factors that would come into play in terms of a decision between either returning to Tennessee or potentially turning? Are those the only two options to consider at the end of this season?
Yes, I believe pro or coming back to Tennessee would be my only two other options. I would not look into grad transferring, because I think I'm just too loyal to the University of Tennessee, to Knoxville, to my state, to Coach Barnes and his staff. So if I'm going to play college basketball next year, it's going to be at Tennessee. But I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. And the factors going into it, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But like I said, I'm going to focus on this team right now and getting better right now to finish this season strong. And then after, I'm going to talk to some few people, think about it, pray about it, weigh out my options, the pros, the cons, and see what the best option is for myself.
Trey Wallace and Grant Ramey.
John, when you look on the court playing in front of 22,000 people, I know this year is different, but what are some special moments? And I know you still got a game left at TBA on Sunday, but any kind of special moments or games over the last 3 to 4 years that stand out to you more than any other?
Of course. I would say this game was not in TBA, but when we beat Gonzaga, was that 2 years ago? And when we beat them in Phoenix, that was a game that I'll never forget. I'll never forget when we beat Georgia here in Thompson Bowling Arena for the SEC championship. We beat Kentucky here a lot. And that's always fun. But I would say the Florida game last year was pretty fun, and I think that's one reason why I would definitely come back next year. Well, knock on wood, that COVID kind of chills out and we can have a full TBA again, because that would be like our freshmen really haven't, and EJ, they really haven't felt and played what it's like to play in a full Thompson Bowling Arena. And so, and you really can't even simulate that with a video or talking about it, or it's just one of those things that you should have been there, and you really can't recreate it, like I said. And so that's something that I really missed this season is all of our fans there. We've got the best fans in the country, and it's just not even the same with having it 20% full or whatever the guidelines are. So that's something that I definitely miss. And I think it plays a big role into the home court advantage, because those fans can really make a difference, and especially fans like ours. So hopefully COVID doesn't do much next year, because those fans really make a difference.
John, you ever sit back and consider you're kind of the link between Grant and Admiral and that whole kind of era to this current era of Jaden and Keon and Josiah, and kind of what's it like to be around both those groups and be around as long as you have been?
Being around as long as I have been, it's been a great and fun time here. I've loved it, and it's been, I would say, a learning experience, and you were part of the build, watching really coach's first recruiting class come in, myself and 5 others, and being a part of that group, and now being a part of him with 5 years of his recruiting class, and the kind of players that he can recruit and get. And it's really been cool and fun to watch our program turn around, and really the guys that you said before, and then even started with Kevin Punter and Armani Moore and those guys, and then with Admiral and Kyle, Lamonte, with those guys. And I know I'm missing some people. And then with Grant in our class. And so it's really been cool to see just the standard that we've set for Tennessee basketball.
Lewis and Wes?
John, kind of a simple question here, really. Are you and the team, do you guys feel like you are okay? This is a very emotional time, obviously, for you all, having to answer questions about your career, injuries, just this season in general with COVID. Not as like an excuse, but when you talk to your team, what is your guys' mindset right now? How are you all doing?
I think we're doing great. And I know that may seem hard to hear, but and our mindset right now is knowing that if and when we come together, that we can be unstoppable. And we've seen it a couple of times this season. We just have to play together as a team and play for each other. And when we do that, and we know what that takes and how we can do it, and I think that we've got full confidence coming into this last part of the season that we can do exactly just that.
Fulky, I know that a lot of us, when we think about kind of that time in our lives when we were a freshman in college, and then 4 or 5 years later when we were getting ready to leave, it's almost like it was 2 different people. If you could go back to that point, then just how much different are you now? Has it been a slow thing, or do you feel like you're still the same person, or what's that sort of the process been like for you?
No, I don't feel like I'm the same person. I feel like that countless people here at Tennessee, and I could name 20 people here that have influenced me and helped me grow as a person, athletically with basketball, spiritually, emotionally, physically. I can name so many people that have helped me out during my time here that have molded me and helped me become a more mature, a smarter, more intelligent, a different aspect on life, mentally stronger person before when I got here. And so I could thank a lot of people that have shaped me while I've been here at Tennessee. And I'll make sure and tell those people who they are. But it has been, like I said, a fun time here for me, and I've enjoyed it all. And I definitely think that I've become a better person while I've been here.
Trey and Wes.
Hey, John, going back to last year when right before y'all heading to the SEC tournament, y'all made a stop in Cookeville to visit with the tornado, the folks that got hit by the tornado. Then you went to Nashville to get ready for the tournament and play. Then the kind of all ended. What has the year been like for you? Maybe outside of basketball, for you personally, dealing with the COVID situation and everything that went into that trip to Nashville last year up until now.
It's been crazy, to be honest with you. The whole, like you said, that whole situation was just something that we never would have thought would happen. Like you said, we were playing really good at the end of the season last year. We were on our way to Nashville, and we stopped there to see the people that had been affected. And first of all, that was something that really, besides COVID, when we didn't really know COVID was a thing, that really made you so thankful for what you have, and that honestly it can be taken away just like that. That you're going to go to sleep tonight and wake up with none of your cars, your house, your loved ones may be not there. And so really that was so eye-opening for us and our coaches and my teammates that we really kind of realized, this life is way more about basketball than it is. Life's so much more about other things than basketball. And so we realized that we're so lucky and blessed to be able to play this game and to have the things we have, because we were talking to those people that had been affected, and they literally just went to sleep that night not knowing what was going to happen. And they woke up and that their house was torn down. Their cars were down the street, across the field. Their churches were demolished. And so that was really, really eye-opening. And I just felt so bad and for those people that they lost things and people that they loved. And so I'm still feeling for them. But after that, we went to Nashville, and like you said, the media coverage worldwide on that was on COVID when we got there was just starting to pick up. They were talking about it coming into the United States and cases kind of going up. And then the night before we played, the NBA canceled their season or postponed their season. And so we thought it was weird that, the NBA kind of being the head person in college basketball, that if they're not going to play, why are we playing? And so we woke up and we were still on to play. So we got ready for the game, went to the Bridgestone Arena, and we're about to go out for the game. And that's when they called it. And then from on, COVID really impacted a lot of people, and a lot of people lost their lives due to COVID. And so then it really makes you even consider more that you don't know what life is going to be, and that we were at home for 6 months, not really supposed to leave the house. A lot of people got laid off of their jobs. People were working from home, things like that. But to see a positive side and bright side of that for myself, I got to spend a lot of time with my family, and my family means the world to me. And to be able to spend that much time with them is something that I haven't done since I was 16, because I went to a boarding school. And so I loved spending time with my family. And so that was something positive. And then, you really didn't know, like restaurants were closing. Really, the only place you could go was really like the grocery store, the hospital, and it's like that. So it's definitely been a crazy, I guess, last year that we've been a part of, and not even our, grandmothers, great grandmothers have been a part of something like this. So it's something that nobody's really ever seen before. But I think that you still have to find the positive out of it and find some way to look at the good things in life, because I think if you're always looking at the bad things and having a negative mindset, then you aren't going to get very far. So I always try to look at the positive and try to be happy about every situation.
Volky, when you look at sort of, or think about being a public figure, is that something that, you're an East Tennessee guy, right? So you play at Tennessee, you start having success, everybody loves you, and then you start struggling a little bit and it gets tough. How tough has it been to adjust to sort of having that kind of life? Is that something that you ever really adjust to, and how does it affect you?
I do adjust to it, and I've kind of enjoyed it because I always put myself, I've told some people this. I kind of put myself in like Chris Lofton, Wayne Chisholm, those people's shoes, and especially with taking pictures and signing autographs and talking to kids, talking to fans. Because when I was a kid growing up, I really loved to watch that team play. I was a big fan of that team with Chris Lofton, Wayne Chisholm, Scotty Hobson, Tyler Smith, like that whole team. I love watching them play. And so I put myself in their shoes. And as a kid, as a Tennessee kid growing up, and I saw one of them out in public or eating or after a game, I would have loved to get a picture with them or get their autograph. And if I went up to them and asked them for a picture and they said no, then I would just be heartbroken. And because them being the person I looked up to, them being them my idols at the time that I looked up to and wanted to be like when I grew up, I would be heartbroken if they said that they couldn't sign something for me or take a picture with me. And so I put myself in their shoes, and I try not to ever turn down a picture or an autograph or anything, because I know that I'm not going to be in this position forever, and I wanted to use it to the best of my ability in a good way and have a positive impact on people, that they can say, like, he's a really nice kid. He cares about other people. He cares about other people's happiness. So I really try to live it like that. But also it being a public figure and being somebody that's recognizable out in public is a good thing, because you really have to watch what you do, what you say, because you can't really do a whole lot without people knowing. And so I always act as if my mother is there, because my mother has very high standards for me. And so, I always say, would my mom want me doing this? Would my mom want me saying that? Would my mom want me hanging out with this person, going there, doing that? So I think that I do a pretty good job, just because I always think of my mom when I am making decisions. So, but I think I've gotten used to being a public figure. And it definitely can be used to, because I was definitely not that well known before, but I guess a lot of people know you when you play basketball here.
And we'll finish up with Grant Ramey.
John, how many hours total do you think you spent with Chad Newman the last 5 years? And how much do you think he'll miss you when you're gone?
I think that I have probably broken the record for spending for the player in Tennessee basketball history that has spent the most with Chad. And for one, I've been here 5 years, and we have spent a lot of time together. And Chad's been here for 55. I've been here for 5. So, and in his many years here, I definitely probably rank in. I probably double the top guy that had the most hours with Chad. But as much as you don't want to see Chad, because Chad is the athletic trainer, as we have a great relationship, and like you said, we have spent a lot of time together. We spent basically my whole first year together, whole first year and a half together, and Chad and I have a great relationship. this is a side note, but Chad makes really, really good spaghetti. His spaghetti is really good. I've tried it a couple of times. He knows I like it. So, but yeah, I love Chad, and I hope Chad's going to miss me as much as I miss him, because I'm really going to miss him.
All right. Thank you, everybody. John.
Lastly, I just want to thank you all for the last 5 years, because, and I hope you all have enjoyed me, because I really like to talk to you all, and I hope that I'll keep it funny with you guys. I know when you know you're talking, you know you're not going to get the most serious answers. So I really appreciate you guys, and thank you for all you've done for myself and for Tennessee and for my teammates as well. I really appreciate it.